What's up, everyone? Mike Spangenberg, CEO and co-founder of State 48. If you're not familiar with State 48, we've been around 7.5 years, and our brand message is pretty simple: clothing for all, inspired by Arizona.
Kurt Mangum II, co-founder of Coupley Fit. Coupley Fit is an Arizona-based benefit corporation. That means two or more feeling better together, and our mission is creating generational health.
I'm Stephen Cowan. I am the CEO of Blacklustre Clothing Company.
So obviously we wanted to get all the three of us here today and kind of talk about and share our exciting collaboration coming and kind of how it came about and why it came about, right? So I just wanted to share the story of why and how it came about of getting connected with Steven, and then obviously your role with helping us out. You've been an unofficial ambassador, you and Dee, for a while now. So why, how you got involved with this whole project, right? So as if anyone, is not familiar with State 48, we've been in business over 7.5 years now, and it's always been clothing for all, inspired by Arizona. So with everything going on, it's definitely affected us. It's hurt us. And if anyone knows, us, it's so much more than just selling t-shirts and hats, and that's genuine as they come. And that's proof of all the different organizations we work with. So, we definitely wanted to show our support for Black Lives Matter. I think it's very, very simple, straightforward, right? So we made that post to show our support. And I was just blown away by being able to, read through the comments. And there's a lot of people that, had, opinions against it and so on, which is understandable. But on all those, different opinions that maybe didn't believe us or thought we should do more, I would always put on there like my personal cell phone number, and I say, hey, I would love to have a conversation. Like, we're here to learn. Like, we're simple. Like, we're all about showing love, right? So that's how we got connected. You added a comment on there that if you're serious, let's talk. And I put my number on there, and I just appreciate that so much, of being able to have an honest conversation and get to know each other and learn. So that's kind of how we got started. And right off the bat, we're like, let's do something together. Let's do a collaboration, right? And then next thing you know, I reached out to Kurt, and Kurt's been an unofficial ambassador. You guys have been amazing for our brand. And, me and us, we're all about relationships. So, Chandler guys, and also Steven he's from Chandler, was awesome. Kind of like that perfect fit. But I wanted to get Kurt's opinion and kind of make sure, we were doing it the right way in respect of everyone. So that's kind of how this group all came together. So kind of just wanted to kick it to you and maybe tell us about Blacklustre and yourself and why it made sense to work with State 48 too.
Sure. I mean, I'm from a small town in northern Arizona originally called Page, right on the shores of beautiful Lake Powell, where we get tourists from all over the world. But I was one of maybe 4 black kids in my high school. And then I moved to Chandler and eventually started something for my community. Specifically in 2017, I started Blacklustre as a play on words, and it was to emulate State 48. Really, I saw the success that you guys were having, and I was going, man, if these guys can do it, maybe I can pull this off as well. And always loved the designs, but yeah, when I saw the post, I thought, well, are they really serious, or are they not? And I think it was within 10 minutes of me posting my comment, you had replied with your number in the comments, which I think is ridiculous to put your number out on the internet with your, tens of thousands of followers. I thought that was insanely brave. And sure enough, we started talking, and a lot of it comes down to the community of Arizona. I mean, I'm part of multiple communities, as a lot of people are, but it's being an Arizona native. And we were just talking about tattoos. We both have tattoos that are very Arizona related, with me and my flag and Lake Powell. It was important to not only partner with a successful company that has more reach to get out this message, and knowing that we were aligned on that message, it was also the fact that you wanted to give back to this community. And so that was extremely important. And then Kurt and I started talking, about how to do that. So,
Man, well, first off, I want to say shout out to both of you guys, not just for everything that you do with State 48 and also being bold enough to start the conversation, right?
Yeah.
To be able to say, hey, here's my number, reach out to me, as open it is on social media, right? Which is super rare. So that's powerful.
And I can't say thank you enough for that, because there was a lot of, again, opinions about State 48, and that's fine. Everyone's, allowed their opinion, but it was just like, let's have a healthy conversation. Let's educate me, or like, I just want to show the sincerity of like, we do want to be better. We do want to help, so I can't thank you enough for, just that effort of wanting to connect and having that phone call. So,
And I'm so glad you mentioned education, right? Because being able to start the conversation opens the door for everybody to get to, even if we're not at a point where everybody's on the same page, we're taking steps towards change, right? And I think when I even think about Arizona and where we are right now, like, I originally from Michigan, but I've been in Arizona since 2007. So like, I graduated high school from Chandler, both Chandler alum, you know what I mean? So Chandler, I feel like, was like a breath of fresh air for me. And Arizona was really amazing. And I appreciate Arizona so much, which is why I came back after college and football and sports. But for me, when I saw the statistics also for Arizona as it relates to police brutality, and, we've got, a lot of people don't know this from an education aspect, we've got 4 cities in the top 10 in the entire nation for the most fatal shootings by police. And so when we think about who's on the other end of, that firearm, right, or on the other end of that brutality, for the most part, it's our Black and brown, brothers and sisters. And so when we think about educating, and if people don't know that, they can't know how to take a step in the right direction towards, doing something impactful, or really just uniting us as Phoenicians, right? Or, uniting us as people to say, well, how can we take a stride or take a step that's going to at least get us closer to equality? And I think that's what State 48 is about.
Yeah, and that's why I called you right off the bat too, because again, Nick and I, our team's diverse, right? Like, we have more minorities on our full-time, team members than we do, Caucasians, right? So Nick and I, being the owners, chatting, like, we didn't feel it was appropriate to, because we wanted to jump on this and help as soon as possible, right? But we don't want to like say the wrong things, and we don't want to. So that's why I was like, I thought it was a perfect situation to connect with you. And then you've always been such a great help, and you're so involved with the community. I'm like, hey, we want to learn. We want to do it the right way. So we had a lot of backlash of like, you aren't doing anything right away. And it's like, that's like, there's no blueprint to, this kind of, shitty, these things going on. Right. So it's like, everyone's dealing with something different, but we just wanted to be mindful of like, we want to do it the right way. So, we are launching this, several weeks after everything's going on, but there's a reason for that. We wanted to do it the right way. And I wanted to lean on you guys of like, hey, is this appropriate? Does this make sense? And
one thing that was really impressive about that is, and we're talking about the comments between you and I on Instagram, which really was very short chain, but what was really impressive was another comment that was posted before I had commented about models and photographers. And you had reached out to that person and had a conversation with her. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Ebony, Lady Ebony, she again had some opinions of our brand, and she actually she was a big fan of State 48. We had connections through Phoenix Fashion Week, if I remember correctly. And she just said, we are very diverse, right? We have you on the website. But we're so much about relationships. We're not picking people out of a magazine. We really want to develop those relationships, and we are mindful of we are clothing for all inspired by Arizona. That better look like that, right? Too. But she had made a comment that we didn't have enough, darker African American models on there, and I was just like blown away. I'm like, we do have African American models, and I was just like not educated on this, what she was trying to convey, right? So thankfully, she had the opportunity to talk to me, and we chatted for 45 minutes, and she educated me on what her, opinions were, and we did offer her to model for us too. So that's hasn't happened yet, but she'll probably be part of the lifestyle shoot. So yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Like, we just want to have an honest conversation, an open conversation, and be like, hey, we 100% we could be better, right? But like, we just need to have that honest conversation so we can eliminate all the hate in the comments and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think that was what inspired me to go, hey, maybe, all right, let's see if they're really serious. Yeah. But knowing that story as well, I couldn't be more excited to work with State 48. I've admired the brand for a long time, but now somehow I actually like it more.
Yeah.
So that's always
But I
a
think
good
those like more honest, like those conversations, because it's so hard to like portray everything on a post, right?
Mhm.
And that's why the last thing I wanted to do is go back and forth, because I manage our social media. Chloe helps a lot, but like I take pride in that because I want our voice to be heard, right? And I don't want to go back and forth on messages and have that come across the wrong way, because you can't really articulate a conversation. So that was important for me to like, hey, here's my cell phone number, please call me, like I want to have a conversation. And there was, you know, others that were just, you know, sending, in my opinion, kind of hurtful messages about, and I just took it personal, because it's like, I know what we stand for and what we mean, but it's just like, can we just have a conversation so I can maybe learn more? And that was a prime example of talking to you and talking to Ebony. So that was the whole point of that, is just like, I don't want to go the back and forth thing, and I don't want people to think the wrong thing. So like, let's just have a conversation. I wish more people could do that, because I think it'll solve a lot of problems.
No, communicating does solve a lot of problems. And I'm glad you shared that too. Not just the story about Ebony, but just about your own experience. Obviously, wanting to stand for what's right, right? But also wanting to make sure that you're intentional with how you share and what you share, right? Because so many people, I felt like, and I saw a post about this on LinkedIn, but like every company or corporation is like, let me put out a statement.
It's like the same copy and paste statement.
Copy and
too,
paste statement.
Like,
that's
the
it.
last thing we wanted to do. Is
there are a couple exceptions. Ben and Jerry's comes to mind, but after that, I'm like, Nike to some extent, but not really.
And my thing too is that putting on a statement, even just the words are nice, right? To say something, but I feel like it's almost even more disappointing when you make the statement, you supposedly take a stance, but then there's no action behind it. Where's the action plan? And I feel like for this, and the reason why we're sitting down and having this conversation, is to talk about how intentional you were, how intentional this collaboration is, but also the vision of being able to open the dialogue and the conversation. Because I would love for not just, we've talked about this for long-term impact, but also to continue these conversations, because there's so many other business owners that were like, man, I don't know this may be that kind of eye opener for somebody else. Like, man, I didn't know how to start the conversation or who to talk to.
And let's be real, it's scary for the business owner, too. Like you say that no matter what the situation, the topic is, right, nowadays on social, you say the wrong thing, even if you had the best intention in the world, that's the last thing we want to do, is jeopardize 7.5 years of State 48 of not seeming genuine, or that. And that was what was really beating me up personally for like a couple of days, because we were getting these negative comments, and I'm like, I want everyone to love State 48. That's our message. Like, we support everyone, we always have. Like, but I get it. Like, actions have to speak louder than words. And that's like when Nick and I had that conversation, we didn't feel it was appropriate for us to launch, because so many people right away, like, where's the shirt to benefit? And it's like, all right, like we just didn't feel right, like doing that on our end, like promoting a shirt that really we can't really speak of, right? So like, that's why this collaboration made perfect sense, and that you were, had buy-in, and then just, all your help, like connecting on where this money can go. And I'm just super excited for it. I'm just glad it all kind of came together.
It's impactful. Anytime, I feel like naturally, anytime we can be givers, right? I feel like anytime we can serve, and I think the goal and the mission of this entire project was us coming to the table saying, how can we serve and give back and basically help the community grow? Whether starting conversations, raising money, being able to use our businesses as a force for good. That's really what I see. So anytime we do that, I just feel like because it's intentional, so many people are going to not only see the positive goal and vision that was in mind, but also you're going to really see the lasting change, right? There's going to be somebody that's impacted through this campaign that was like, either I never had access to the knowledge, or even a youth that's in Arizona was like, man, I didn't know that I had support, or that other people believed in me, and I didn't have hope. And we can kind of be a deliverer of that hope. And I think that's powerful too.
Well, that's the other side of it, right? Is that not only every business starts up to make money, and that's fine. And that's capitalism. But one of the very first things, you're like, all right, let's do a collaboration and let's figure out where the money goes. And I thought and I sat there and said, that's perfect. And you're going, who's going to benefit from this and benefit from this most? And that's really, really impactful. And so working with Kurt, we all decided with a nonprofit that we could give money to. And I feel great about it, but
Yes, no, I'm glad you said that, because one of the benefits of being able to select a nonprofit, we didn't want to just pick out, pick up a list, right, and just
Well,
grab an
not to
organization.
interrupt, but one thing I wanted to point out is you educated me too on, the Black Lives Matter, nonprofit. There's two, right? And some organizations are donating to the wrong cause, or do you know where the money's going? Not saying that's a great cause, but if it all makes sense for us to work together, how are we going to help our community? We're all from Chandler. What can we do in Chandler? So like when you suggested ICANN, I was like, you educated us both. I mean, I've familiar with ICANN, but like the fact that you were so passionate about it, you could tell that on the phone where you're like, D and I volunteer there, and I'll let you speak on that, but just to kind of understand why we chose ICANN as the beneficiary, just to begin.
Man, I've got a huge, my heart smiles when I think about ICANN, because it flashes me back to when we were a new business starting out, Deanna and I. And so with Coupley Fit, we wanted to be able to create impact in health. And so how we got connected with ICANN, they actually have a health and wellness fair. So ICANN does youth programs. They're a 501c3 located in Chandler, Arizona. They've been in Chandler for a long time, creating positive impact, but it's for youth. So youth development, it's free programs. They provide meals for youth. And what's really unique about ICANN is that when people think of Chandler, they don't necessarily immediately think of poverty, or they don't think of kids going hungry at night. They don't think of gang violence and things like that. But there's a couple of things about ICANN and the Maricopa County. A lot of people don't know this, but Maricopa County, in the area that ICANN serves, is the second highest obesity rate in the nation. So, Coupley Fit is two or more feeling better together. So we want to create generational health. And so if you guys have the second highest obesity rate, obviously kids aren't feeling good, right? They don't feel their best. So how can we grow and develop them into great human beings? And so that's how we initially got connected with ICANN, was through their wellness fair 3 years ago. So they bring the whole community out and do this health and wellness fair, families, kids. And it was so powerful to see just those dynamics of how health and feeling better can bring everybody together. And so when we thought about, man, how can we give locally to people that need it? And this is the first step, right? Because there's going to be other organizations that we're able to give to. But that first step is kids that need it most. 8 out of 10 kids in their program are living in extreme poverty. And 4 out of 10 of the kids are going to sleep hungry at night. So when I think about that, and then the fact that it's educational, and they're helping with connection and with confidence and with being able to be prepared and really self-drive and connecting. All of those things, I feel like as a kid, when you're anywhere from 3rd grade to 8th grade, those are some of your most pivotal years. I know for me, your self-confidence, you're trying to find yourself, you're looking up for role models and people to look up to. And so for us to be able to provide hope for somebody that needs it most, I think that's what the world needs, is more hope and more unity right now.
Well, too, if our youth is good humans, right, and that's going to change so many things too going on in the world, hopefully. But and on that point too, like, and I know you mentioned as business owners, your goal is to sustain a business and you need every dollar you can. But like, there is no better feeling, and that's why I'm so proud of State 40. Of like, we do so much in the community. So many of our shirts, have a tie back to a community, and like the relationships we've built, the organizations we're able to give to, not just financially, because I wish we could do so much more, but just the creating awareness part. I mean, we worked with the Arians Family Foundation for several years, which helped neglected children in the Valley. So like, that just brings, like you said, warms up your heart, and just that's why it's just so rewarding to sell a lot of shirts or be successful, because like you can give back, and that's always our genuine mission.
Yeah, no, I love that. And not only to be able to give back, right, but everybody needs a shirt. Like everybody at some point, you always wear shirts. Like everybody's, and you're in Arizona, so it's hot, right? So
you don't need a collection.
You got to change your shirt. Like it's always, so you always need a shirt, but then why not let what you're wearing represent Arizona? I love State 48 because I felt like even when I got to Arizona, people were like, man, you have a lot of people that move from all over sometimes. Like I know some people born and raised, some people move from all over and love Arizona. But just they're like, man, how do I connect and wear something that represents Arizona but is also stylish? So I feel like adding that too just is really awesome, because people are excited to wear it.
Right. And I think that people should be excited to buy this new shirt because we're not being greedy. We're providing you an awesome design, in my personal opinion. I love it, and I think it's the best one that State 48 has ever made. I'm not going to say that it's because I was involved in it, but it's also the fact that, you know, what, $10 of every shirt is going to a charity that is providing meals for kids so that they don't go hungry, that is providing a community garden for children so that they can learn to be self-sufficient and work as a team and work as a community. And that's building up the community. I can't think of anything really better than that feeling of going, hey, I got a quality product with a great design. And by the way, I can also feel a little bit better with that shirt on my shoulders, knowing, I also did.
And that's what's been so cool about working with the two of you. We've all been on the same page, right? Like right off the bat, we're like State 48 doesn't feel comfortable making, you know, much profit off this, right? Like we got to cover costs and we have cost of goods and marketing and all that. But like we wanted to make sure it was a significant donation. So that way we feel good and really try to make an impact. So I'm glad we've been on the same page. But yeah, just to reiterate, $10 per shirt is going to go back to ICANN on all these shirts. Do you want to chat about, you just mentioned this is your favorite design. Do you want to chat about the design process working with Nick on it and kind of where the vision is and explain everything about the design?
Blacklustre is, and a lot of it is just me. I love the color black. So a lot of what I wear is black or dark colors. So when I was talking to Nick, there are a couple of things. And first of all, the State 48 logo is iconic in my mind. Such a great design. But I was like, you know, we've got to have, I really want that resistance fist, but you know, I want something a little different. And Nick put something very different in that design versus the standard resistance fist that I even use on my shirts. And there were a couple different iterations that we went through, but then there was the one that was the most impactful with the fist right in the middle of the state. In a very neutral color. It's not brown. It's not white. It's not any other color. It's, you know, I like a certain color called Inca Silver. And I had told Nick that. He made sure that was part of the design. On the back of it, of course, is the state of Arizona and my Blacklustre logo. And I can't tell you the pride that not only I felt, but I did share the design with my mother, and she freaked out and she's like, I can't believe this is happening for you. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes I get lucky, I guess, you know? But yeah, it was such an easy process, and everything that I wanted was incorporated by you guys. And there were no questions. There was no pushback.
Oh yeah.
Or no, you know, well, this is how we would have done it. And it was so simple, so easy that, and so, I mean, beautiful when it was done, that it was just an easy, okay, that's the one. Yeah. That's it.
It's so good to hear too. Cause we try to, you know, make it so easy to work with us. And I know the cool thing is I know Nick loved that design. You love the design. I love the design. Everyone you showed, like everyone just agreed on the same design. So it was a really easy process, and I'm very excited to launch it. So,
collaboration.
And then what was your thoughts on it? I mean, we wanted to make sure you got your input on it, and
I love it. I mean, you said, you pretty much, you know, you summed up a lot of it there. But when I saw it, I saw unity. The fist told me that if somebody's wearing the shirt, right, because we have the meaning of the shirt, but then there's also a meaning once you wear the shirt and once you buy the shirt, right? You're standing on the side of equality. You're standing on the side of unity,
on
right?
The right side of
on
history.
The right side of history, because history's happening right now, right? Like we're in such a precarious time. Like there's so much going on and happening. COVID-19, right? We've got Black Lives Matter. We got George Floyd. There's so much, but to be able to spotlight a way that you can do something for that person. It's like, what can I do? I just saw like, oh, this is a no-brainer. Like, not only is it awesome, but it's an easy way for you to say, you know what, let me just take a stance. Let me just get involved. Let me just show that I'm really about uniting Arizona.
Yeah, I know Nick was co-founder and lead graphic designer, was super passionate about it, and we made sure we got everyone's opinion in the team. But we're just, you know, grateful to be able to work with both of you and just be able to get this going and hopefully make a big difference in the whole state. So really getting excited to get it launched. So we'll have it up for pre-order here in the next week, and then we'll get a lifestyle shoot and get models. I think you're going to be one of our models too, right?
Yeah, I'll just, the more, let my beard grow a little bit more, because the more of my face I cover, the better I look.
Well, that's one thing on our website. Like, no one's a model, right? It's just good humans, and good looking people, and they just, again, relationships, and end up on our website. It's just like we connect, and you're like, hey, you guys want to do a shoot? Cool, let's do it. So that's what I love about State 48 is like we just want to be different, right? It's not just, we really do want to support everyone. So that's our mission. So
no, it's powerful. I again appreciate you so much. Appreciate you being inclusive, you being willing to really break the silence of people, being kind of paralyzed by analyzing everything. Yeah. What do I say? What don't I say? What do I do? What don't I do?
It's challenging.
It's tough. Yeah. It's tough. But the key, I think, and this is what I want also a part of the takeaway for other people, right, is that don't do nothing, right? Like even if it's a step, if your heart's in the right place, if you're doing surrounding yourself with the right people that are going to give you honest advice and feedback, and they're also in the community or involved, if you reach out to those folks, great things end up happening, because you're going to feel that if you feel unity at the end of something, if you feel collaboration, I feel like things are going to go in the right direction. And at the end of the day, more impact.
And this isn't going to be just a short-term collaboration, right? This is, we're looking at long-term things as well.
And that's what was important for myself and all of us to agree on. It's like, we don't just want to do one shirt and call it a day and make a donation. We really want to, put our actions, behind it. And can we volunteer? Can we do, there's so many different things we could do, but the first step is just collaborating and launching the shirt. And that's what I'm excited for.
Now, listen, lasting impact. So I'm pumped. I can't wait to continue to give more and even open up. I'm throwing this out there. So it's the first time you guys heard this, but even open it up and maybe even do more dialogues, as we continue to go on, and maybe even, feature and just get someone's thought right when they're wearing it, and kind of show some perspectives, whether that's on social. But I just think continuing to just spread that positive message, because I feel like that's what the world needs.
Yeah, it's all about love. It's sad when there's the bad humans in the world, but if we could focus on creating more love, I think it'll be a better world we live in. And I think that's what was somewhat important about getting together and just having this conversation, just being able to articulate what the collaboration is. And we obviously all agree that we didn't feel to do justice by just, posting about it and, we really wanted to get into the nuts and bolts of why and how this collaboration is going to happen. So
I'm excited. I can't wait for the impact, not only right now, but the impact in the future, and just continuing to grow and make Arizona a better place and a more unified and equal place for everybody.
And I can't wait to see these at the next march, the next protest, the next rally, the next big get together on Juneteenth, whatever it is.
Holiday,
game, Suns game,
all one, all one Arizona team, and we're right here at the table giving back to Arizona. So.
Amen. So just to recap, we've got a collaboration design going between Blacklustre, State 48. Kurt's been a huge part of this. We're going to have it available at state48.com. $10 per shirt will benefit ICANN. So that's what it's all about. And I appreciate you guys so much of being a part of this and just being open-minded and allowing us to be, a big part of it. So
happy to see you.
Yeah. Listen, I'm grateful. I'm blessed, man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, man. Listen, I'm loving the shirts. I love the design. I can't listen. We're supporting. We got it on, so it's gonna be impactful. I'm excited.
Yeah.